This summit, therefore, is a demonstration of our dedication to the implementation and achievement of the 2020, 2021, 2022, 2023 Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan, ERTP, together with the reset agenda.
The need for a summit of this nature is that of trying to build the economy of Botswana.
It's essentially because often, if we want to try and do something, it's only certain people who understand what is happening. So it's trying to take somebody by hand and helping them develop, reducing those barriers to entry and lessening the number of scars that they would have to show and delaying, actually trying to accelerate that process of them becoming a supplier, a reality in terms of producing.
In fact, the Economic Recovery and Transformation Plan identifies manufacturing as one of the sectors that government has to develop to achieve its twin objectives of employment creation and economic diversification. As a result, government has adopted a number of initiatives, both at the national and international levels, aimed at developing and growing this sector.
I think it's a very interesting and a timely movement. Like they say, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. So I think it's a question of, do we all have a similar objective? And if it's local manufacturing which is keeping us here together to collaborate, is it that what we want to see growing? And are we intentional about it? Because I think meeting is just the beginning, but progressing after meeting to ensure that whatever that we have discussed here does not remain just talks, but we also have intentional plans about going ahead to ensure that there's implementation of what we are committing ourselves to. I think the one weakness that we have, whether it's from government or wherever, it's lack of implementation of things that we talk about. So I think it's enough about the talks. It's time that the collaborations actually have a clear mandate and output of what is it that we want to achieve from this.
The importance of manufacturing as a uniquely powerful economic force cannot be overemphasized because of its ability to create stable employment. Currently, the manufacturing sector contributes the fifth largest share of jobs at 7.1%. And we can and we must definitely do better. Masankoloba.
You may be aware that we have relied mostly on imported goods. Our import bill is quite alarming. But when you compare that with what has transpired over years, you can see the difference that we have now improved. We have now adopted the inward-looking strategy where we try the best we can to try to produce the things that we can, looking at the circumstances that we find ourselves in. We don't have many resources that we, raw materials, and then we have to deal with the challenges of trying to solicit for such from other countries. But in any case, that has not deterred the sector from growing. We have new players that come on board. We have seen growth of other companies.
One of the functions that was given to Botswana Chamber of Mines was that of manufacturing. So we put in place structures to assist companies that would like to manufacture, such that they can, start up companies. And we have had quite a few of those that are actually currently in operation in terms of manufacturing. And we would like to ensure that the other potential manufacturers that probably did not know how to approach the subject and how to approach the issue of manufacturing, that they can be enticed to participate in manufacturing.
So we found that necessary because we want to also be an enabler in terms of creating opportunities for SMMEs to be able to market their products and have their products available to corporates, basically.
Out there in the real world, the banks are providing money. They are providing right now up to 2022 about $8 billion. I think last year it was about $10 billion. That was loaned to the industry. So we are raising this because generally in Botswana, the commercial banks are hesitant and cautious and see big risks. So I think it's some conversation we need to have with the banking sector and see how we can help each other.
UNDP, as you might be aware of, is an organization that has a mandate to support the developmental goals of the government of Botswana. And through the ATISA Supply Development Program, we are empowering the development of SMEs in the country.
So that's the real issue, and I think this is what this summit is providing. It's those conversations that allow people to understand what we mean by industrialization and what we mean by market access. And to say charities begins at home. We have to give Banaba Botswana the opportunities here at home if we want them to be able to access and export their services out of Botswana into the region and worldwide.
If anyone tells you that there is a single button you need to push and then manufacturing will take off in Botswana, just laugh them out of the room. There are several things that simultaneously need to be present. And of course, access to finance is one of them.
Then, of course, issues of financing as well. Research and development, we cannot stop talking about that. Digitalization, and of course, capacity building of the SMMEs. These are things that we leverage on and advocate on.
The key issue in manufacturing is competitiveness. And to achieve competitiveness, there are quite a number of issues that we have to look at.
First, the government needs to have an effective, clearly articulated, consistent policy and regulatory framework. And standards are indeed part of that framework, which is conducive to private sector development.
We recognize that the growth of local manufacturing heavily relies on strong institutional support. Our government remains committed to fostering an enabling environment for manufacturers, streamlining regulations, and providing the necessary incentives. Moreover, we will actively engage with stakeholders to address any challenges faced by the sector and devise sustainable solutions.
So for us, we're pushing financial inclusion. So by doing this, we're playing our part in the whole financial inclusion. Two, we're also playing our part in ensuring job creation. From the SMEs that we funded under the programs to date, I think we have created, well, not us directly, but because we funded those entities, over 1,300 jobs have been created. So for us, it's also showing our alignment and our commitment to the ESG, basically.
We will collaborate with financial institutions to design inclusive and flexible financing models that cater to the diverse needs for our manufacturing entrepreneurs.
One of the things to do, Mr. Mosalakatane, is to actually involve the industry as part of your think tanks. We have got thought leaders who have ideas. Number 2, invite bona fide industrialists who have been exposed to the industry and understand the industry to become part of all the stakeholders discussing development planning in our country.
I think it's very important that we set up manufacturing capabilities across different industries. It shouldn't just be that we have primary industries which are growing, meaning agriculture and mining, but we should be in a position where we have local entities that can then use these products that we are producing, these raw materials that we are producing, add value to them locally, then sell them into the local market or alternatively export to the region.
The challenges that we are facing in the manufacturing sector, one, we've got a challenge with market access, both locally and internationally. Currently locally, the challenges that we are facing is basically being listed with the big players in the market.
As a local manufacturer, and again on top of that, a new product into the market, it has been very difficult. Very, very difficult. But due to trainings and processes that we went through with our stakeholders that we have brought on board through this innovation, such as the UNDP, where they trained us to do the supply development chain program that took almost 2 years. We also had a partnership with the US Army guys. We are also part of BIH. We also have a patent for the bag, which is recognized by WIPO. So with those have given us a wider market, because now we are not just focusing in Botswana, we are focusing on Africa and international market as a whole.
All manufacturers here, we are faced with the issue of market penetration in terms of issues like mobile listing. Some of the retailers, they take long to list the products that are locally manufactured. So policymakers are here, all the players are here. So mostly as fana and a solution. It will be because
it's all about the mindset, because people don't believe that a woman can do things that they have not thought about. For as long as you are a woman, sometimes they think that you don't have the capability, but they forget that we are graduates, we are professionals in our line of business.
Talent, you have to have the right type of skills. And our feasibility study identified that yes, indeed, we don't have skills for manufacturing. We have a well-educated population, but in terms of specific skills for manufacturing, we don't have. And hence, this cannot be developed by one person. It will require, or by one organization. It will require collaboration, partnerships, in terms of working with even institutions that actually are been mandated to look into skills.
The reason why we sponsored this event is because we have a drive right now, I would say even a passion to support SMMEs in line with the Act, right? So one of the things that we wanted to do was to partner with Chamber of Mines, who we have an MOU with, to ensure that SMMEs are aware of the opportunities that are available in the manufacturing space, especially with the import substitution project that is ongoing.
Rona re dira mo boremelong ja maranyane a segang le a ile gore re thatse ditama dio tsene gore Batswana ba ka diungwela mo go di dintsi mme se no tshwanetse re se dira so santhala ke go lemoga bokgoni ja rona re le Batswana gore na le bokgoni re na le thutego le hasela la rona ke le hasele e leng gore ka ha le le buang ka teng ke mahatsamo ba re thela le hasela rona ma le batho ba rona mate ya no se no gore se botlhokwa ke gore re itsole pa so santha re dumele gore nya mme le rona re tshwanetse go re ka tsa karolo segolo jang ga re bua ko mohameng wa ditaemane ebile ga la ra tshwana gore re tseye karolo re tshwanetse gore ebile mo go tseyeng karolo jang re netefatse gore le Batswana ba bangwe le bone ba itemogela maungo ona se e leng gore nka se bua totala ke gore le Batswana a re lemogeng gore ditšhono di teng re na le dingwaga re ntse re dira mo ditaemane mme se e leng gore batho re se dire ke go netefatsa gore yaanong Botswana e nna ene yo e leng gore ga go bua ka ditaemane go bua ka Botswana go bua ka komponi go bua ka Botswana go bua ka Motswana mme se se re patika gore rotlhe e be re ema re le sopo se le sengwe re bona gore anong re simolola go heoga go dira ka bonata le go bona gore ga ditšhono di leng teng a re tseneng.
We wanted to have implementable and practical examples. So we are going to put together a report of what happened in the past 3 days. And we're going to have actionable items, and we're going to have responsible people or organizations that are going to action those items. And we will review this in perhaps another 12 months' time when we are due to do our second local manufacturing summit. We should be able to review the progress that we've done. And I must also add that this has been the interest of His Excellency when the President of the Republic of Botswana, when he opened the session on Tuesday. He said, yes, this is a good local manufacturing summit, but he would like to see when we do our second that we would have moved in terms of actionable items.
I also pledge to translate these insights and actionable policies into actionable policies and initiatives that will empower our local manufacturers to thrive. You spoke of the issues of offtakes. Really, I don't see why it should be a problem. Now, my view is that, the view that I share with my government, my principle is that, when we grow our entrepreneurs, there must be correlation between our efforts and the intentions of government. For example, when you look at the financial year 2023-2024, we've allocated about 21.7 billion pula towards development projects. There are lots of value chains there. But what are we doing as facilitators to ensure that 21.7 million goes towards our entrepreneurs? We must do interventions or create interventions that will help our entrepreneurs benefit from these huge budgets.